am James.
Today we'll be having our crash course in Green Lantern philosophy/history.
A little bit of history, yeah.
Just a touch.
You got to do origin stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm super excited for this. If you guys don't know, I have a giant kind of Blackest Night themed tattoo on my left forearm that I just recently got that is not done yet. I still have like 2 hours left of in-chair stuff to do, but I'm a huge Green Lantern fan. Thank you to the gentleman sitting across from me.
You're welcome. I mean, I should really be thanking Jeff Johns because that's how my Green Lantern, just diving into that world was because of Jeff Johns, and it actually happened before the Green Lantern movie was gonna come out.
Mm-hmm.
Before that happened, I thought, well, I've never read anything Green Lantern, I would like to. So while Hastings was still something that existed.
What is Hastings?
I don't know. It's like
It's like a unicorn.
It's like a weird little, like a bazaar. It was a bazaar.
It was with 2 A's.
With 2 A's.
Like an Indian bazaar.
So I was there, and I didn't really know. This is back when DC did really weird shit with their books. They didn't have like the Green Lantern Volume 1, Green Lantern Volume 2.
Oh yeah, if you try to get trade paperbacks from that era, it's impossible.
It's weird because there's like no rhyme or reason to it. And I saw Blackest Night, and I just picked up. I was like, fuck it, I'll just read this.
Yeah.
I didn't understand a lot that was happening.
Hell of a thing to pick up and just start reading.
Right, it is. Like, nothing...
Worth every second of it.
It is. But for someone who has never read anything Green Lantern, it's such a weird jumping off point.
Ironically, I did the exact same thing. Through suggestions of you, and you're like, just pick up Blackest Night. And I'm like, okay. So I picked it up. I picked it up at Barnes & Noble. And picked it up and read it, and I think I texted you, and I'm like, I want more.
And I said, I have more.
And you brought me more.
I did.
And then I also wrote a 42-page epic poem for my English class that is...
like Dante's Inferno, but it's the
Green Lantern
course.
Yeah. And which I got an A+ on. Thank you very much.
Yeah, buddy.
But so what we're going to do today is we are going to kind of go over what is Green Lanterns and what it is, how it has progressed a little bit through the years. I can't do it. I can't have the TV on and not...
I told you to turn it off.
It was the Cubs game, and I changed it to Antiques Roadshow, and I'm like, no, can't do it. Even Antiques Roadshow, I just want to make fun of. But we're gonna go over some everything Green Lantern.
Yeah.
So, Green Lantern started during the Golden Age of comics. Silver Age of comics. And the very first Green Lantern was Alan Scott.
Yes.
And there's a whole backstory about how the first ring was formed from something
like a dream. I think they call it the Dream Star.
Yeah, something like that, and it looked like an actual like railroad lantern. Which, if you've seen any of the lanterns,
the lantern was there was a Dream Star, and then that was forged into a lantern.
Yeah,
which ended up saving his life.
Yeah, from a train
accident.
Which is really funny because that kind of goes to
they redid that in the Earth 2 because he was in a train accident, and that's how he lost his husband. But then Earth chose him as its champion because he was more like the Swamp Thing of it,
the Guardian of the Green or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's probably, I mean, that's it. It's Silver Age. It's Alan Scott. So trivia question: who was the first Green Lantern? Alan Scott, not Hal Jordan.
If anyone says Hal Jordan wants to argue that, then they're
let's say Green Lantern from Earth.
Alan Scott's from Earth.
I know that's what I'm saying, but the Green Lantern Corps itself is like 3 million years old.
Yeah, it's super old. And before they had the Green Lanterns, they had the Manhunters.
Yeah.
Which were highly sophisticated robots, but then there was a malfunction in their systems, and then there was a huge slaughter caused by the Manhunters, and so the Guardians of the Universe were like, okay, we'll have to do something else.
They're always fucking shit up. But
they are.
Yeah.
And so that's when they used willpower and created the Power Battery, which is like a giant lantern on the planet Oa, which is home of the Guardians of the Universe and also happens to be the exact center of the universe.
Absolutely. And the Guardians of the Universe, of course, we get into what we know as the comics today. New 52, I mean, we can start with New 52, we can start with Blackest Night.
Blackest Night was predated New 52.
Well, it kind of started New 52 also. No, Flashpoint did.
Flashpoint did that.
But this brought back dead characters. It was a way
Yes.
to get characters reintroduced. But we'll go into all that here in a little bit. On Earth, we have 4 Green Lanterns that are from Earth. With
We have Hal Jordan,
John Stewart,
John Stewart,
Guy Gardner, Kyle Rayner.
Jessica Cruz,
Oh, yeah.
Simon Vaz. So
Okay.
we have 6 lanterns from Earth.
Which is an exorbitant amount of lanterns from Earth. But
Well, they should probably kill somebody like Guy Gardner.
no, go fuck yourself. Anyway, the green is willpower.
Yes.
It is the embodiment of willpower. And if you have strong enough will, you can create constructs that can defeat anything, with the exception of yellow. Which is the counter to the green. Hal Jordan was gifted his ring by Abin Sur when Abin Sur crash landed on Earth, and we'll find out why here in a little bit when we talk about Red. And he was gifted his ring by Abin Sur to become the first, since Alan Scott obviously was the first, but in our modern age, Hal Jordan.
Well, Alan Scott's not part of the Green Lantern Corps. Like, he's Green Lantern, but he's not
right. But
he wasn't gifted the ring from Oa and
right, or had the ring passed to him from another lantern or whatever. But since then we got John Stewart, and then we got Guy Gardner, and then we got Kyle Rayner, and now of course Jessica and Simon are.
Well, they're the ones who actually they protect Earth. Like, they are designated on Earth. They don't go around the galaxy, which is what they do in Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern Corps.
Right, and that's the one I'm reading. I'm not reading
I'm reading Green Lantern.
And I'm reading Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern Corps. Right now in Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern Corps, John Stewart is in charge of the Green Lanterns. Kyle Rayner has just lost the power of the White Lantern ring and has now rejoined the Green Lantern Corps. Guy Gardner is part of the Green Lantern Corps, and Hal Jordan is kind of the Mr. Fix-It. He's not in charge of anything. He doesn't have a sector to protect. He kind of goes everywhere, and I think that's why they've entitled that book Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. Yeah. Otherwise, it's John Stewart's book.
Yeah.
And this has just, solidified my love of the Green Lanterns. But it's willpower, and the complete opposite of that is the yellow.
Well, the Guardians chose willpower just because they didn't want emotions to rule.
Well, and the Green Lanterns also are the police force.
They're the police force, yeah, but the Guardians themselves long ago have abolished anything that is emotion. They are pure logic. And that's why they wanted willpower, because willpower doesn't really have to do with some kind of emotion. It's the logic. It's like a driving force. It's not something that can turn you in a way that the spectrum, like towards the farther end of the spectrum, where it can consume you.
Yeah, which we'll see later.
And green is like right in the dead center, so they don't have to worry about them being influenced by some kind of emotion.
Right.
And so then comes one of, well, he was regarded as the best Green Lantern. Sinestro. Until Hal came along. But Sinestro was regarded as the best Green Lantern, and they found out that there was so little crime in his sectors because he reigned over them his planet and everyone, his entire sector, like he was some kind of dictator.
He was feared.
And
that is the inspiration for the yellow, or the Sinestro Corps, the Yellow Lantern Corps.
He was exiled from the Green Lantern Corps, and then he was sent to Quard, which is like in the antimatter universe. And while on Quard, he found a way to create his own power battery, create his own ring, and so now he uses the power of fear. So those who have the ability to instill great fear join the Sinestro Corps.
Sought out by Sinestro to join the Sinestro Corps.
Yes.
And one of my favorite characters ever are Kilo.
He's his
right hand
general.
Yeah, and he's just a fucking bamf. But yeah. So fear, and they use fear. That's their way of instilling or showing their power. And of course now in my book, in Hal Jordan the Green Lantern Corps, the yellow and the Green have joined forces, but Sinestro is dead. Um, when Sinestro died, Hal Jordan created a pure ring out of his own willpower. That just shows you how powerful his willpower is. But Sinestro rules by fear, um, and they make constructs that are meant to instill fear and weaken
the willpower
of the
Green
others.
Lanterns.
Yeah.
Like they make a lot of the times I see them make grotesque monsters that just really are supposed to freak you out. And the thing that was different between the Sinestro and the Green Lantern Corps is that the Sinestro Corps originally, from their creation, could use lethal force. The Green Lanterns could not use lethal force until not for a while until during the Sinestro Corps War, when the Guardians of the Universe
wrote
in the law that the Green Lanterns can use lethal force on Sinestro Corps members.
Yes, and then they kind of expanded that to everyone.
Yeah, they did.
And that's kind of where a lot of fallout came from. When we talk about further, you'll learn in this conversation that the Green Lantern Corps is kind of the center of this emotional spectrum. And as we get...
think Roy G. Biv.
Right.
G is in the center, and then you have Roy and Biv.
Red, orange, yellow.
Blue, indigo, violet.
Yeah. With green right in the middle.
Yep.
Going from left to right. And for some reason in my brain, I always see it from right to left. I don't know why. I always think of good on the left and bad on the right. Maybe that's my political viewpoints. Sorry. But we mentioned Geoff Johns on Tuesday, and Geoff Johns is just such a driving force with the writing of all of these cores. Between him and Ethan Van Sciver's art, this universe has been created that...
Well, before Ethan Van Sciver was Ivan Reis.
Ivan Reis, yeah. Or Reis or R-E-I-S. I don't know how you say it. But, yeah, not to take anything away from him. But Ethan... I'm just going to say Ethan. Ethan helped to create, like, the Red Lantern Corps, the Blue. He helped to create all this. Ivan Reis, or Reis, basically just, helped Geoff Johns tell the story of the Green. And he did that brilliantly through that art. And Ethan took a lot of inspiration from that to keep this moving forward. But whenever they came up with all the different cores, a lot of those you'll see attributed to Geoff Johns and Ethan Van Sciver.
Yeah.
And I actually got a response from Van Sciver today on Twitter.
Did you really?
I did. That was a little, yay me!
You're just getting everyone on Twitter.
I know, man. But yeah, it's pretty powerful. So we go from Yellow and Sinestro Corps, instilling fear. Now, obviously, we're not going to be able to hit on everything because we have a limited amount of time.
Yeah.
But we're going to go from there to Atrocitus.
Now, his is a fun story.
And this is why Abin Sur was crash landing on Earth.
Because
Atrocitus kills him.
Or deals a fatal blow, and then he manages to get on a ship.
And bounce out. But that's something that we don't see in the movie, obviously.
Well, because that's something that they added later on. Abin Sur is such a... I don't know, he wasn't really a used character. He was the only
But now he's become a legend.
Now he's become a legend, but thanks to the writings of Geoff Johns.
Yeah.
But, before that, he was just, the guy who, like, in every Green Lantern story, he just shows up. He's like, oh, I'm dying, here's a ring, and then,
It's kind of like the Waynes getting shot in an alley.
Yeah, you don't know a lot about the
story.
Waynes because they just show up and get shot. Same thing for Abin Sur. He just shows up and dies and hands Hal a ring.
But we've learned that it's Arkilo.
But now it's been built. Not
Arkilo, sorry. Atrocitus has landed this death blow on him, and Abin Sur ends up on Earth, and the ring goes to Hal. But he was the last remaining survivor of basically a genocide in Sector 666.
On the planet Ryut. By the Manhunters.
Yes.
The Manhunters ended up slaughtering all of his people. He was the last one, and his rage, just in a pool of blood, solidified a lantern, a red one.